Yo, what's up, everybody? Let's talk about Islam, the religion of peace. No, seriously, I'm not just saying that. Respect and tolerance are built into the foundation of Islam. They're not just suggestions, they're core principles. Think about it like this. Islam emphasizes justice, kindness, and compassion. These values apply to everyone. Muslims are taught to treat all people with dignity, regardless of their beliefs. That's because Islam recognizes the inherent worth of every human being. This isn't some New Age interpretation either. This goes way back to the Prophet Muhammad himself. Dude walked the talk. He showed respect to people of different faiths. He even had non-Muslim friends. It's all about that interfaith dialogue. Look, understanding Islam means going beyond the headlines. It's about diving into the actual teachings. So buckle up, because we're about to drop some knowledge about Islam's legacy of tolerance. Right off the bat, the Quran drops a truth bomb. There is no compulsion in religion, Quran 2:256. Boom, mic drop. That right there is a fundamental principle of Islam. This verse makes it crystal clear. Forcing someone to convert to Islam is a big no-no. Why? Because faith is a personal choice. It has to come from the heart. You can't force someone to believe something they don't. It's like trying to force someone to like your favorite sports team. It just doesn't work like that. This verse isn't just some random line in a book. It's a guiding principle for Muslims throughout history. It shaped how Islamic empires interacted with other communities. They understood that forcing religion is counterproductive. Think about it. If you're forced into a belief system, are you really going to embrace it? Probably not. You're more likely to resent it. So, yeah, no compulsion in religion. It's a Quranic mandate. Now let's talk about another key concept, people of the book. This refers to Jews and Christians. Why? Because Islam recognizes the shared heritage of these Abrahamic faiths. We're all descendants of Abraham, right? So there's a fundamental respect and recognition there. The Quran even mentions Jesus and Moses with reverence. It acknowledges their prophets and scriptures. That's huge. This concept of people of the book wasn't just theoretical, it had real-world implications. It meant that Jews and Christians living under Islamic rule were granted a certain level of autonomy. They could practice their religions freely. They had their own courts and legal systems. Of course, there were always exceptions and complexities throughout history, but the principle of respecting people of the book remained a cornerstone of Islamic thought. Now, about those non-Muslims living under Islamic rule, they were known as dhimmis. This wasn't a derogatory term, it actually meant protected persons. Yeah, you heard that right. They were under the protection of the Islamic State. This protection came with rights and responsibilities. Dhimmis had the right to practice their religion freely. They had their own courts to handle their internal affairs. They were exempt from certain Islamic laws. In exchange, they paid a tax called the jizya, which was often lower than the taxes paid by Muslims. Now I know what you're thinking. Hold up, they had to pay a special tax? True, but it wasn't about punishing them for their beliefs. It was more like a contribution to the state for their protection and the services they received. Look, was it a perfect system? No system is. But the concept of dhimmi status highlights Islam's emphasis on tolerance and coexistence.